Right guys, so it's that time again. Welcome to another van build video. If you saw the last video, I installed the wheel arch water tank in the back of the van there. What I'm going to do today is now connect up and install the rest of the water system. So I've got a Sureflow Trailking pump, there's the water filter, and there's an accumulator. I guess you know what a water filter does. Now, don't confuse that with something that's going to clean the water for you or purify the water. All that does is take any particles out of the water when it comes out of the tank. So I've got those laid out there in the order that they'll be installed. The water filter first to stop anything getting into the pump and further on into the system, and then the accumulator. You don't need an accumulator, but I've done my research, and from what I can gather, it's definitely a good idea to put one in there. It equalises the pressure and in the system, because the pump works on a diaphragm, so it sort of gives it that effect, so you won't get a smooth water supply through the tap. But also because of the way the system works under pressure, this will constantly be sort of clicking in and out to try and keep the pressure constant. This equalises that, so it'll save your pump as well, save some electricity, and also make your pump last longer. I haven't got time today to sort of show you every nut and bolt as it goes into place, but yeah, I'm going to attach that to the line out of the tank at the bike. That's then going to attach to that, and that then attaches to that. This and the tank were all from a kit ordered online, and Overland Supplies, I believe. So it comes with a box full of fittings in there. Hopefully I've got everything I need. I should have. These are John Guest fittings, which seem to be the go-to make for these push fit fittings. I've used similar fittings to this before on domestic. I did a house up some years ago and put a lot of the plumbing in myself and used these, so pretty straightforward. So it's that, and this sort of semi-rigid pipe that's going to use it to connect to these. So I'm going to mount these three to a board, which is then going to get mounted in the bike, and then connect everything up and bring the pipe through to here, which is waiting for the kitchen worktop to complete the clean, fresh water system. That sounds of interest? Stay with me. Right, so one important thing to note with this, the accumulator comes pre-charged to 0.9 bar or 13 psi, and this pump is rated there at 20 psi. So what we need to do is get the pressure up on this to 20 psi to match the pump. That's actually quite simple. On the end there is a valve, and it's just a normal valve. I always get them mixed up with this Schroeder valve or a Presta valve. Whatever it is, all I need to do is attach a pump to that with a gauge and get that up to 20 psi. While we're on this, as you can see there, I've started fitting it together. These are the fittings for that. A screw thread on this side, so that screws onto there. This came with one on the filter ready to connect to that. See the bit of PTFE tape there, obviously put that on all the threads and then screw those down. So that screws down, and then this end has the John Guest connector for the pipe, and all we do with the pipe is just push that into there. You can see the metal teeth at the bottom. You push that into there. I've started here from the tank, and once that's pushed in, that's really secure. It's secure and it's watertight. You can take it back out. You can see the little ring there. You push that in with one hand and pull with the other, then that will disconnect it. So they're just very easy push fittings. That one's ready to go, and I'll see if I can do it one-handed just to show you. So push him in and make sure he goes right home. That's him, and then he's good and secure and watertight. This is just a valve, non-return valve there, or shut-off valve, sorry. So if there's a problem further down the system, I can shut the water off there. Okay, as I say, we're going round the corner, attaching these to this board, which I'm then going to mount under the tank so that I can box all this in nicely out of the way and leave a nice big garage for storage in the back. Okay, so there we go then, that's attached on the end. Hopefully you can see the gauge down there, it's currently at 13 psi. And as quickly and simply as that, I'm up to 20 psi. Disconnect that, and then just bob the cap back on. Job done. There we go then, that's that installed there. Just got a wire in the pump, the cable for that is there. That was put through obviously when fitting the cables for the electrics. The way I've done this is I've got a piece of wood there, same piece of wood behind, screwed it into the floor, screwed that into there, through and into the piece of wood behind, and also into the floor there. So it moves, but it doesn't squeak, and it's I'm sure it's fine. I've got the hole there to go through under the kitchen units, which you can see there, and up to the sink. I'm not sure what to do about this, to be honest. I was going to clamp those down, and that sort of puts a bit more pressure on that. I don't know if there's any need. If you know, let me know in the comments. Am I better clamping that down, or just let it go as it is? I obviously can't clamp anything to that. Well, I could, I suppose, double-sided sticky tape or something, but I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. Right then, so that's everything in place. We start from the outlet on the tank. I've just filled that up, as you will have seen, to test it and test for any leaks. The outlet on the tank, got a stop tap here. So currently the water's stopping there. Turn that to release it through to the pump. Before it gets to the pump, goes through the filter, into the pump, out the other end of the pump, into the accumulator, and then out through that there, a few little joints on there, and under the unit there, carries on under the units and comes up into the sink, dead straightforward. I've also wired it in just temporarily. I'm using these Wacos, these little lever arches, they're brilliant. So I've connected up the live and the negative there. I will, this cabling's not staying like this, it's going to all be tidied up, and I'll be fitting a switch to turn the pump on and off just up there above the door. The toilet is going to live there, that's what that door's for, out of the bike. So yeah, just got to fit the switch, but for now I'm going to test it, so I need to check what size fuse I need for this, get that fitted, and we'll give it a test. Okay, so just to show you that this end, that's the pipe obviously coming up through the bottom of where the sink's going to sit. I'll put another one of those on there, currently in the off position, and just run some spare pipe outside of the van so I can test the system and look for any leaks. The bluette is in place, the fuse is in, the tap and the extra hose. So here's the moment of truth. Happy days. Let's have a look in the bike. Just make sure there's no leaks. That all looks good. Better quickly check under the sink. Okay, I've done that. I've turned the tap off. Right, there we go, and the pump goes off. I'm sure you can hear that. So happy days. Got the sink's arrived, so that's ready to go in. Next job, that's been fastened down. Yeah, oh, I had a bit of a nightmare, I will say, with this. There was a template with the sink. I don't know whether it was the wrong template or we misunderstood what we were supposed to do, but anyway, we cut out the wrong shape. But by doing this, I've managed to make it fit. So it's probably a good thing actually, because if I think the template was saying we should cut all of this out. Well, that's not a lot of material left there for this, so I'm glad we didn't do that. Anyway, it fits. So so that's the next job, to get the sink in. Just connect up underneath there. This will tee off into both the hot and cold supply, so whatever we use the tap on, it'll be that. And we're starting to get what looks like a van now. The back doors there, you might have noticed they've been covered. Lynn did that. She's that's one of the few things we've managed to reuse from the original van. We've reused the panels that were already on the back door there, insulated it all, and then Lynn's covered them in the full leather. So that's looking good. So that's done. The water supply's in, just got to connect it up to the sink. The bed's pretty much ready to go now, because the bed slides along the work surface here. So we're ready to go with the bed. The benches, the frames are in for the seats, as you can see. Houses the bluette in there. Beauty of this thing is two things. Well, one of the beauties is that we won't be leaving that in the van. Not when we're parked up at home. And when we're out and about, it will be chained to the bulkhead. So if anybody wants to take that, they're really going to have to come prepared to make some noise and have the right equipment to do that. It'll be an angle grinder that they would need to get that out of there. So yeah, that's the bluette, that's where that's living. And yeah, it's actually starting to look like a camper van. So happy days. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be. It may well be the bed, so stay with us for that one.